action.
So, hello and a warm welcome to all the students present here. Now, this is the seventh lecture of the course, which is named Environmental Science, the mandatory course of BTech second year. And the code of this course is MC301, where MC stands for the mandatory course. Right? Now, this is G. Chakraborty from the Department of Chemistry, and we will continue with the seventh lecture, which is named Air and its Pollution. Right? So, before going into the details of the lecture, let us see the video which comes right away. Now, as you people have seen the video, and we can predict that what the topic of the lecture is. I have already mentioned that it is air and its pollution. Now, the question arises that in environmental science course, right, we need to study about air pollution. Yes, that is worth. But why we are studying about air, right? Because in the video, you people have seen the different zones of atmosphere, and what are the forms of air that are present, what are the different gases that are present. All these things you people have seen in the video that was played few moments ago, right? Now it may happen that it strikes into your mind that why I am discussing about air instead of discussing about air pollution, right? See, the fact is very simple. Suppose, let us imagine you are not an engineer, you are a doctor, right? And you are trying to study MBBS. Now, before seeing a patient and before knowing what type of disease he is having, right? Suppose somebody is saying, yes, I have a very high pain in my stomach, right? Now, first you should know what the constitution of stomach is and how the stomach looks, or how the heart looks, or how the body, human body looks when it is problemless, whenever it is 100% fit and fine, right? So without knowing about the correct thing, you cannot fix things up, right? Okay, without, suppose you are a garage mechanic, right? Now one car has came to you which is having some problem. Okay, now without knowing that what was actually present in the car, or what is the ideal condition that the car should have in order to run on the road, right? Without knowing about this thing, you cannot know a single piece of information about the problem that has happened to the car. So if human body and car are easy with it, then nature will also face the same thing, right? Just I'm trying to say that without having proper knowledge about the environment, right, without having proper knowledge about air, how we can predict whether a particular sample of air is purified or it is polluted? We cannot. Basically, we cannot, because see, we need to know that the air is good or bad. Without knowing that the air is good or bad, how we are going to determine how much polluted it is, right? So we need to know what are the permissible values, what the different constituents of the chemicals or the gases present in air is or are ideal, right? Then only we can see whether it is polluted or not. Otherwise, you will say that okay, there are lots of oxygen in this layer called troposphere, it is polluted with oxygen. But oxygen does not create pollution, we know that very well, right? So in order to know about the details of the air, this particular lecture is meant for, and in our course of this lecture we will see how the composition of air is and what are the levels that we people are having. In the video things were shown, but it was too fast, right? Now let us go one by one, and we'll go through each of the layers, and gradually from the ground we are going to travel towards the sky and to space, right? So we will see that what the components of different parts of atmosphere is, and what we are going to get in these particular components. Okay, whether they're good or bad, whether they're healthy or not, everything we are going to see in this particular lecture, right? So as we people know that our lecture is nothing but air and its pollution, and it is written part 1. Now why it is part 1? Because if you check the syllabus, there are actually 7 lectures under this topic, which is called air pollution, right? Under the module which is called air and its pollution. Okay, now 7 lectures I have separated in such a way that part 1 to part 7, right? So this one is part 1. The basic idea about air we will get here. Okay, so let us move into the lecture. Now as you people know that moving into the lecture, first we need to see the lecture highlights, that what are the basic things that are present in the lecture about which we'll be getting some good information or some good knowledge, right? So the first topic that we people are having here is nothing but the layers of atmosphere. Okay, we need to see what atmosphere is. We need to see what different parts of atmosphere are there, and what are the different layers of atmosphere that we are having. Okay, we will see that. After that, the first layer of the atmosphere is troposphere. It is already, we can predict from this particular end. So we'll have the details of the troposphere. Then we will move into the stratosphere, followed by mesosphere and thermosphere. Finally, tropopause and menopause. Okay. Now there's a suspense about exosphere. So let us go into the lecture details and see where exosphere is. Right. So layers of the atmosphere. Here we come. See, atmospheric structure is the first point. Okay. Now, atmospheric structure means, see, there are basically 4 zones into which our Earth is divided, right? One is atmosphere, that is sphere of air. Second one is lithosphere, that is sphere of land. Third one is hydrosphere, that is sphere of water, and the fourth one is biosphere, that is sphere of living organisms. Right now, you people may think that I have never seen water body in the form of a sphere, I have never seen land in the form of a sphere, I have never seen any organism in the form of a sphere other than the stomach of Bengalis, right? And I have never seen air like a sphere also. But the fact is, why it is called atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere? Because air present in Earth, which is actually sphere, right? Though Earth is not a complete sphere, but it is considered to be a sphere. Okay, so basically the thing is layer of air, which is actually a sphere, that is Earth, right? Layer of water on Earth, layer of land on Earth, right? That's why it is called so. Okay. So let us move into the layers of the atmosphere and the atmospheric structure. If we see in details, we see that the first one in which we people are living right now, I am sitting here and you people are sitting wherever we are, that is nothing but the troposphere. Okay, lowest layer of Earth touching the ground is called troposphere, right? Now it starts at the Earth's surface, that is the land where we are standing or sitting, right? And it extends up to 8 to 14.5 kilometers high, that is 5 to 9 miles. Okay, now you may think that why it is 8 and 14.5. See, the sea level, right, the level of Earth or the level of land, height of land is not same everywhere. Whenever you are moving towards ocean, it goes down, and whenever we are moving towards mountains, higher altitudes, then it goes up, right? So accordingly, the troposphere layer also, it will vary in kilometers in height, right? And its height is about 8 to 14.5 kilometers, right? The part of the atmosphere is the most dense, yes. Large amount of air is present here, and almost all weather is in this particular region, right? So whenever we are leaving the troposphere, we'll get no weather, and we'll get very less density of the gases that we are having, right? Of the air that we are having. Okay. Right, this was the troposphere, the first part. Let us move to the second part, that is the stratosphere. Now, inside the stratosphere, what we are seeing that it starts just above the troposphere, yes, expected, and extends up to 50 kilometers, that is 31 miles high. Okay, so from the ground level, right, troposphere is starting, and then stratosphere is starting, having a height of around 50 kilometers. Okay, now ozone layer is one of the main things that are present in stratosphere. Now here a tricky question usually comes, that where ozonosphere is located, right? Now people often say that ozonosphere is also a layer of atmosphere, but it is not like that. Ozonosphere is not a independent layer of atmosphere, rather it is a part of stratosphere. Okay, so ozone layer belongs to the stratosphere, which absorbs and scatters the ultraviolet radiation, means which protects us from the ultraviolet radiation that comes from the sun, right? Okay, so 2 over, 3 to go. Now the third one is mesosphere, right? Now mesosphere, it just starts after the tropos and stratosphere. Okay, and its height is around 85 kilometers, right? 85 kilometers high from the land, and the meteors that come into the earth burn in this particular layer. Okay, so this layer is very, very hot. Now, after this three layers are gone, we are having the fourth layer, which is called thermosphere, which means no, mesosphere is not that much hot, right? Thermosphere will be hot. Mesosphere is cold comparatively. Now, from thermosphere, the temperature increases. Okay, so when we'll study in detail, we'll see about the variation, right? Thermosphere will start above the mesosphere around 600 kilometers high, and aura and satellites occur in this particular layer. So, whenever a satellite is rotating around Earth, it is actually residing in the thermosphere, right? After the thermosphere, there's a full and final outer layer of the atmosphere, which is called ionosphere, right, or exosphere. There are two names, either ionosphere or exosphere. Now, the exo word comes from exit. Okay. Also, the thermosphere has another name that is called magnetosphere, because different type of attraction or the gravity is corresponding to this particular layer. Okay. So let us move into the ionosphere back. It is abundant layer of electrons and ionized atoms. Yes, it is called ionosphere because lots of atoms are present in this, lots of ions are present in this particular area, and its height is around 965 kilometers, right? And it contains mesosphere, thermosphere, and different parts. Okay. Now this is a very dynamic region. It grows and shrinks based on solar conditions, and has different sub-regions, right? So it will grow big, it will grow small, right, in accordance to its nature. And it is critical link in the chain of sun earth reaction. Yes, radio communications are possible in for this particular region. Without this region, radio communication would not have been possible, number one. Number two is this is the layer which the sun rays directly strikes when the sun rays reach earth, right? So the solar radiation on is getting absorbed in this particular layer. Okay, so this was all about the five layers of the atmosphere. See, it is also called exosphere, right? And the upper limit is 10,000 kilometers, means it is totally outside the earth, right? Now tropopause is basically the boundary of the earth's atmosphere between the troposphere and the stratosphere, and it is written a gradient stratification layer, right? Now tropopause, right, as we know that pause means stop, right? A temporary stop is generally called a pause, right? So tropopause basically means where the troposphere is going to stop. Whenever the troposphere will stop, we'll see the place is tropopause. Okay. And the mesopause is the region where the mesosphere and the thermosphere actually collides, right? Or the place where the mesosphere ends is called the mesosphere. Okay, sorry, mesopause, right? So these are the different regions that we people are having, and we have seen previously that the atmosphere contains five different layers. Okay, and the basic constituents of the troposphere is nothing but the gases that we people are having. It contains 78% of nitrogen and 21% oxygen, but the main oxygen is present in this particular layer only, that is the troposphere, right? It contains oxygen, it contains carbon dioxide. Okay, these are the things that are present in troposphere. Moreover, the main important thing is that life exists in this troposphere area. Without the troposphere, life does not exist, right? So troposphere is the ideal region where all the weathers are present, and life is sustaining, and the desirable gases which are good and emergent for the living organisms that are present in the troposphere only. Okay, now as far as we go for the stratosphere part, right? If we go for the stratosphere, then we will see that the main constituent is ozone, as we have already spoken about. So large number of O3 molecules, that is the ozone gas, is present in this particular layer. It is interesting to note that the aircrafts, the jet fighters, or the planes that we fly, basically they take off from the troposphere and they fly into the stratosphere. Okay. So it is very interesting to note that the maximum jet fighters or jet planes actually fly into the stratosphere only, right? And this particular layer is very, very important for us since it contains the ozone layer and it protects us from the UV radiations of the sun. Now, another important thing is that whenever we are moving on height, right? Whenever we are going to higher altitude, we have seen that the temperature decreases drastically. Like. So, the normal temperature of troposphere is in whatever we people are enjoying. After that, whenever it moves to the stratosphere, then temperature decreases. Okay, and whenever it goes to mesosphere, it reaches a negative degree, right? It reaches negative degrees. The mesosphere is very much cold, okay, and around 85 kilometers high. But after this mesosphere, right, now different type of gases are present in mesosphere, NO2, NO, and all other gases are present. Now whenever we are leaving this mesosphere, it is quite different to see that the temperature starts increasing because the density of the gases are extremely less, and due to very, very less density of gases, actually what happens, the temperature increases drastically. See, it is again interesting to note that if density of gas decreases, how temperature can increase, because see, as we are moving out and out, and if the atmosphere is lacking, then we are directly moving towards the rays that are coming from the sun. Okay, so temperature increases, right? This is the main reason or the main effect for the increase of temperature. But whenever we are moved to the ionosphere, ions like NO dot, O dot, O3 dot, O2 dot, right? This type of ions are present in the atmosphere, in the ionosphere. Right? Lots of ions are present, and mainly the radio waves and frequencies come from this particular layer. Okay, and ionosphere and exosphere are not that much different, but exosphere is the outer layer of the ionosphere, and as you can see, it is huge thickness. It is having huge thickness, huge height. That is 10,000 kilometers compared to the 900 something of the ionosphere. Right? Okay, and these two terms are very important. I've already spoken, so I'm not discussing again. That tropopause and menopause are the limits or the boundaries of this particular layers, the troposphere and the mesosphere. Okay. So after this, there are a series of questions that are coming up, right? Now you go through the questions, you try to answer those questions, okay? And whenever we are discussing these particular topics, then we will solve the questions, or you just if you're having any problem, you just write it down on a piece of paper, and we will discuss about it, or you just send me a mail about that thing that you have noted down. Okay, so whenever there is a problem, no problem is actually existing, right? Because we'll discuss and we'll solve it out. Okay, right? So thank you so much, and we'll meet in the next lecture. That is the part 2 of the air and its pollution, and the 8th lecture of environmental science, the mandatory course of BTech second year, right? So see you in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and save environment. Thank you.